Hi, welcome back, and Dirt Rally has been with us for a year. Well, technically it will have been with us for a year tomorrow, but I wanted to really take a look back over what we got when the game launched, what we've now got with Dirt Rally 2.0, how it is a year down the line, and what we've got coming up. Because one of the things I am very well aware of is, whilst we've now had 4 seasons worth of content come for Dirt Rally, next month, March, towards the end, 20-something, we are getting the Colin McRae tribute DLC with a couple of cars and some more stages in Scotland, and also, I believe, a load of Colin McRae specific challenges that are coming as well. So, I'll look at that separately when it comes out, but as it stands right here and right now, where are we with Dirt Rally 2.0? If we look back to the launch, there are a few things really that were perhaps the most obvious from the launch. Start with the positives first of all. I actually really liked the car selection that we got at launch. Now, we don't have the current generation of WRC cars, but that's no massive surprise in all honesty, because they are exclusively locked to the official WRC titles. So R5 is the most modern and most powerful cars we can get in the game, or rather, it's not so much powerful, quickest, shall we say, in the game. We got a reasonable selection of Group B stuff, two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. We got some Group A stuff. We got some more obscure classic Holder 60s stuff. So, for my mind, it really did have a good car mix. Only the stuff, something like Seblo Rally Evo, had a better launch lineup of cars, in my opinion, or on par, depending on your personal tastes. So that was definitely a positive in my view. What was also a positive was the work that had gone on with the graphics and the lighting engine. Looked really good. There were at launch, but it was fairly quickly patched out, a few issues with some of the stages being just ridiculously dark, particularly the US-based stages. So the New England stuff, as you went under the tree cover in overcast or rainy weather, it got very, very difficult to see anything, but that was patched out fairly quickly, and overall the new lighting engine did work extremely well, particularly for reflections and water puddles on very muddy surfaces. They looked good, in all honesty. Also over Dirt Rally, the original 2.0 did add in some good solid changes to the physics engine. The gravel physics engine improved, and it's actually very nice, and there was a bit of progress on the tarmac stuff. It's still not as good as some other titles out there, but it's definitely better tarmac wise than we had originally in Dirt Rally, where there were some quite significant issues, in all honesty, with the tarmac side of things. But overall, the physics engine moved in the right direction and moved well in the right direction. In terms of negatives at launch, we had a few issues there. As somebody who plays on a PS4, the loss of VR from the original Dirt Rally was understandable because of the massive bump in graphics and the lighting engine, but it was a bit disappointing because for me, the original Dirt Rally is easily one of the best VR racing titles that we have on the PS4, so it was a shame to lose that, but I also understand that's going to be a fairly niche number of people that are going to be bothered by that. Track listing and overall content was a bit lacking, being perfectly honest. We got new stages, but in all honesty, locations were borrowed either from Dirt Rally or Dirt 4. So it felt a bit like recycled content in that regard, but the stages themselves were good. There was definitely a narrowing of some stages. One of the issues that people, in my view, quite rightly had with the original Dirt Rally was that some of the stages were quite wide. We also lost hill climb. We kept and expanded on the Rallycross stuff, and the AI for the Rallycross opposition definitely improved. It was overly perfect in the original Dirt Rally, and now it's much better in Dirt Rally 2.0, so there was a lot to like in regards to that, but as I say, conversely, we lost the hill climb and Pikes Peak to Polyphony Digital's Gran Turismo exclusivity for Pikes Peak that they have so far used in no way, shape or form whatsoever, so it seems to be a bit of a waste of an absolutely great location, unfortunately. For me, however, the biggest issue at launch, and it seems to be a bit of a Codemaster's speciality, was around the force feedback. Again, not a problem if you're using a controller, but if you're not using a controller and using a wheel, there was some big issues with the force feedback. Quite specific ones though, because the actual weighting and the counter steer etc. on the wheel was good. You got some good feel from that, which was nice. What however was missing was the feedback you should get through the steering from road surface, from heavily pitted and potholed roads that have been churned up, and as one of the boasts of Dirt Rally 2.0 was the track deformation, even on really heavily deformed tracks with huge great ruts down the tyre marks in them, where it had been cut up massively. You didn't feel anything of this through the steering, which was really disappointing. In fact, the only kind of like effect you'd feel through the steering was through the cattle grids, and those would then attempt to rip your arms off. So it was blatantly a big issue with it. Weirdly, you did have some people online that were trying to defend it and say it felt right. All I can say is those people have never driven anything off-road under anything other than the smoothest of smooth surfaces, because it most definitely was wrong. I put a video together going into more detail about exactly why it was wrong. Fortunately, that again was patched, and the force feedback and the surface detail you feel through it now is actually very good. I really like it, and I really enjoy playing it. That is one of the reasons I do enjoy playing Dirt Rally 2.0. So that's how the game launched, what they've done in terms of the patching. We've then come to the 4 seasons worth of content that we have now. With the 4 seasons worth of content we've had, it's been very mixed. We've had some good stuff in there. So, for example, we've had some good car additions in there. Colin McRae Skoda being one of my personal faves in that. We've had some good oddball stuff in there. The BMW M1 Pro car, although it only ever raced rally-wise on tarmac, you can take it out on the dirt and see just how mental it is. So there was some good stuff that came out rally car-wise for the DLC. Location-wise, it was a bit of a mixed bag, because let's be perfectly blunt, location-wise, what we effectively got was all of the locations and stages from the original Dirt Rally, recycled and given back to us as content. Now, in some cases, don't get me wrong, there was a good graphical bump on all of these, without a doubt, and the new lighting model helped out with that as well. But some of these, like Monte Carlo, these really did bring some positive changes with them. So Monte Carlo, you now actually had the patches of ice and snow on the sides of the road affecting your car, and you could feel it through the steering, and you got a lot more sense of moving from tarmac to snow to ice, and that was really well done. And that was the first one they hit us with, and it was kind of like, wow, if they can do this for the rest of the remastered stuff, that'll be absolutely brilliant. Unfortunately, we didn't really get that increased level of what's going on the surface with the remainder of the locations and stages. We basically just got the original Dirt Rally content recycled. Not brilliant, but there we go. At least now it does have a very impressive roster in terms of locations within Dirt Rally 2.0, but it did feel a bit like you were having to pay for the game twice to actually get them, which is not quite so good. And again, I've made videos moaning about that. If you're a big fan of Rallycross, you got a better deal out the season passes, however, because there was a lot of new stages and locations that came out, so a lot more rallycross tracks came out, and an awful lot of cars came out that were new to the series as well, in most cases. So that was really good from that perspective. And I liked it. I liked what they did with regard to the Rallycross stuff. And one other good thing, because I think they have kind of realised, Codemasters, that they were being a bit naughty here. One of the things we are getting, as I mentioned at the start of the video, is the Colin McRae tribute DLC, which, if you've got the season passes, is free, which is good, because it is actually giving something back in that regard to people that bought the season passes, with a brand new location coming with it, and a lot of new, sorry, not a lot, 2 new cars, and a lot of special Colin McRae themed events, kind of like recreate moments from his rally career, I would imagine, is what we're going to be doing in that, and that will be good to see. It'll be interesting to see if they do further pursue any more season passes or any more additional content for Dirt Rally 2.0 beyond that. Not seeing anything, but it would be nice if they did. I'd actually like it if they built on the game, added more cars that are new to the series, and added in more locations and stages that are new to the series. I think there's a lot they could do with that, and personally I'd like to see them throw in some Irish tarmac stuff. That would be absolutely brilliant. So in the unlikely event anybody from Codemasters ever actually watches my videos, please do think about that one. I'd really like that. So overall, I've whittled on for 10 or so minutes about Dirt Rally 2.0 and where we are now a year after launch. And whilst at launch I found it a promising but feature and content light game, what we're looking at here now, a year after launch, if you did buy into all of the season passes, is actually now a very complete title with an awful lot going for it. It doesn't have, in my view, the best handling model out there, but it's not a long way behind, and it's more than acceptable in that regard, and it's a good solid title, and one that for the daily, weekly and monthly events draws me back to it on a regular basis. So overall, yeah, it gets my vote. It's a good title. If you don't want to pay full price for it, wait until it hits a sale and pick it up, but if you like your rallying stuff, it's well worth a buy. So thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed this, please do a like, please do subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and have a great day. Thanks very much. Take care. Bye.